Right, my friends, how you all doing? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a fresh episode of FM22's The Hall of Famer. Now, part 1 of season 13 is linked above. Feel free to go and check that out. It basically covered the summer transfer windows, the 2 early season finals that we played in the Community Shield and the UEFA Super Cup. But since then, we've been playing on, and I've actually moved on a bit further than I originally planned, as we played it up to the one of the cup finals that we've made it to, that we'll talk about during the course of today's episode, and we'll play that as part of today's episode. So, my friend, let's crack on with part 2 of season 13 in the Hall of Famer. So we start here at the fixtures, and we're basically just going to kind of run through all of the games that have been played in a pretty quick fashion and take us all the way up to the Carabao Cup Final. Yes, we've made it to that final again, and should we win it, that's basically us defending that title every time we've got to the final. We love that competition, basically. So, since last time, Bournemouth was the last game we kind of covered, wasn't it? We've played a bunch of games. The Champions League group, we beat Mainz by 2-0. We then had Manchester United and Leeds in the Premier League, a 3-2 against Manchester United and a 6-0 against Leeds, and it was the third round of the EFL Cup, and that was a 6-0 against Millwall. Going into the month of October, we had Milan and Nice in the Champions League, a 3-2 defeat by Milan in our first game against them in the group stage, a bit of a shocker from us. Nice were the next team up, a 4-0 win, Makoko and Marvelous Sabanda with some goals. You'll see then in the Premier League we had Brentford, Sheffield United and Aston Villa, a 4-1 against Brentford, Yusuf Makoko tearing the team to pieces. We had Sheffield United, a 3-0 win here, another hat-trick for him, and Aston Villa. And yes, you could have guessed it, he's not actually on the scores. That's unbelievable. I thought he was going to be on the score sheet again. Fourth round of the EFL Cup, a 4-1 against Derby. Millicent with all the goals. We move into November, and you will see that in the Champions League we had Nice and Milan, pretty much finishing our group stage. A 3-0 against Nice and a 5-0 against Milan, getting revenge for that previous defeat earlier on. Leicester, Arsenal, West Brom and Newcastle were all up for the taking in the Premier League. A 2-0 against Leicester, a 1-0 against Arsenal, a 4-0 against West Brom and a 0-0 draw against Newcastle. Wolverhampton Wanderers were up next as we moved into December, and we got them a 6-0 defeat early on. We also played Southampton, Norwich, Everton and Chelsea. 4-1 against Southampton, 5-0 against Norwich, 2-0 against Everton and a 4-1 against Chelsea in the Premier League. We finished off our group stage with a 3-2 win against Mainz, and that did mean that we finished our Champions League group stage at the top. I will show you the table at the end. We then also played Leeds in the quarter-final of the EFL Cup, a 2-0 victory, Milcent and Sabanda on the score sheet. We moved into a very busy and very hectic January. Lots of games to be played in the Premier League, as well as a semi-final against Chelsea and an FA Cup fixture in the third round. In the Premier League, it was Sheffield United, a 2-1 win, then a 0-0 against bitter rivals Spurs, a 3-1 against Brentford, a 1-0 against Leicester, a 4-1 against Aston Villa. Tottenham Hotspur was a 4-1 and a 2-2 against Chelsea. In the EFL Cup, we lost our first leg to Chelsea 1-0, but returned the second leg with a 3-0 win, and that meant we went to the final with a 3-1 aggregate win. Grimsby 8-0 in the FA Cup, a ridiculous game, scorers all over the place. But before we move on to the next month, let me show you how January's transfer window went. And the reason I need to show you how the transfer window went is because we actually had a few outs in the January. A few players went out on loan: Kit Kennelly, Aaron Gorman, who was involved in the first team, and Simitas, who had joined us earlier in the season, Marlon John and Alberto Folletti, all players going out on loan. But the big surprise might be that of Dominic Szoboszlai, who moved to Real Madrid for £68 million. I was gutted to lose him, but at 31 and entering the last year of his contract, I feel like we got ourselves a very good deal from Real Madrid. 45.5 million we paid for him. He had 2 seasons on loan before that, and then 2.5 further seasons, and was an unbelievable player for the football club. We weren't able to replace him in January, which was a bit of a shame, but I felt like we had players that could do the job. No ins in January. just those outs. And so we pushed on with our fixtures for the rest of February, with the final coming at the end of the month. We drew Slavia Prague in the next round of the Champions League, as you can see. It was a 4-0 win, though, in the Premier League against Watford to get us started, a 1-0 against Manchester City, and a 2-2 draw against Everton. We also played Manchester United in the FA Cup fourth round, and we absolutely battered them by 5-0. Right, Novelay and Sabanda on the score sheet. But the way we finish this month, and we finish this part of this Hall of Famer series, is with the Carabao Cup Final. So here we go, gang. It's time for the Carabao Cup Final. It's West Ham against Crystal Palace. As you can see, a really good run to the final, and nice to actually be taking on someone a bit different. It's usually one of the big boys, isn't it? But this time around, Crystal Palace did their best to make it to the final. Early on, a good free kick from Guzman for Crystal Palace, and it cannons off the crossbar. Early stages, Crystal Palace very much the team on top of the game. You're going to see, though, as the game goes on, we hopefully grow into this one. Crystal Palace, though, early doors, they're passing it around, popping it around, and doing pretty well, playing some good stuff. As I've already said, nice to see a lesser team in the final. Usually we play the same team over and over. Lately, it feels like we meet Newcastle in every final that we get in. But, for now, it's Crystal Palace. That ball, though, gets spread wide into Nicholas Wright. Ball into the box. Sabanda heads over. You're going to see we decided to start Milcent in the final. We let him have a bit of a run in this competition, and I felt it was only fair to let him start the final. I tried to rotate in this competition and use the depth that we've got with the squad. As you can see, Eid has been promoted into the first team this season. He gets a go in the cup final as well. Played every game as Milcent unleashes a vicious shot, and that is saved by the goalkeeper. It's a really good chance for West Ham there, but yeah, obviously when we get a bit of a break in play, you'll be able to see the team that I decided to pick as they drive forward through Guzman. This Guzman lad, I believe they've got on loan from Spurs, and I tried to sign him. He came through Barcelona's academy, so yeah, he's a good prospect and one I was looking at. But that's into the midfield. Right, he finds Milcent, has it nicked off him, and at the early stages of this game, and we're not even outside the first 10 minutes, Crystal Palace very much have the lion's share, doing some pretty good stuff and really enjoying their time, basically, where this one's concerned. As Sabanda now, he drives forward. Good stuff from him. He picked out Novelay. He just couldn't get his shot on target. But yeah, as you can see, it's a really rotated team. Cavell's playing, Milcent's playing, Neil's playing. Thomas Eid, as I've already said, he was the young goalkeeper that we bought in the summer and decided to start playing him, basically, because obviously Razak Bates has left the football club. So we needed a new backup, a new number 2, and he became just that. Ball round the corner, it's into Milcent. It's a good save from the Crystal Palace goalkeeper. The game continues to rumble and tumble along, and yeah, we're doing some good stuff here in the early stages of the game. Here we go, though. It's into Finlay. It's played out from the back for Crystal Palace once again, and they're trying their best, aren't they? But that high press from us is they're making it really difficult for them. That's going to be offside, unfortunately. You could see he was a mile offside. It was a good header from the player to kind of win it back, but absolute miles offside. So yeah, but still gone pretty strong at the back, as you can see. Kappa, Alfonso and Cruz all playing. They're all definite starters and world-class defenders, to be fair. Nicholas Wright driving up the wing at Crystal Palace. It's scary when he runs at players, and unfortunately they give away a penalty. It's unfortunate, but that's just what happens when you've got Nicholas Wright breathing down your neck like that. Pace, power, dribbling ability, he's unbelievable. The penalty, not sure if this goes in. You'll have to stick with me. It's Reece Neal. It hits the back of the net. It's 1-0 West Ham, and that puts the Claret and Blue in to the lead. It's an early lead. That's just what West Ham needed, and it might calm them down a bit now. As you can see statistically in the game, West Ham really starting to dominate this one. Crystal Palace kind of settling in to maybe hit West Ham on the counter-attack, but it's just not happening. Yeah, the game kind of settles down a little eventually. That's a good corner. It's headed out, though, from West Ham. He comes back. It's into Nelson. Ball comes in. That's defended well again. Cavell with a useless ball out, which really annoys me because I'd rather we were just a bit calmer in those positions. Gives the ball back to Palace. Unleashes a shot. It goes wide of the targets. 30 minutes, 15 to go in the first half. And it's been a pretty good display so far. Ball comes in, Kappa heads down, Novelay gets his right boot on it. That's 2-0 to West Ham, and that puts West Ham in a very, very dominant position early on in the Carabao Cup Final. This is a cup that every time we've made it to the final, we have won so far. So it's the competition we've really started to like and really started to enjoy. It's one I take seriously, especially where the Hall of Fame is concerned, because it's all about winning as much silverware as possible, gang, and this would very much help. That's a ball, that's a goal. I think it's offside, which is, again, unfortunate. That's 2 goals chalked off in the game. Had the players decided to read the line a bit better, it would be 4-0, not 2-0. That would be absolutely lovely, wouldn't it? We are coming towards half-time in this game, though, as you can see, and it's very, very dominant display from West Ham. 14 shots, 54% of the possession. We are very much in control of this Carabao Cup Final. At half-time, I basically tell the lads, you're doing well, but you can give me more. And let's see if in the second half they can give me a bit more. Game moves on. 2-0, as we can see, and it's up to Palace now to make a game of this and try to come back into it. Can they do it? We'll have to wait and see. First substitute of the game, Alberto Garay comes on for Cruz as we attempt to rest some of our better players with the intense game schedule that is ahead of us. Lots and lots of games incoming because, as you've already seen from the fixture roundup, we are still very much involved in all of the competitions. The hour mark is here, 60 minutes gone. West Ham still 2-0 in the lead and still controlling the game. Crystal Palace, though, on the football. They're going to try and drive forward. That's good football from Nelson as he ducks inside. Good bit of defending from Cavell, but they do still have the football. They're now going to work it out from the back. Zima, they comes wide into Estevez, now into Nelson again. Now it's into Jenna, and the press is just what's beating Palace at the moment. It's relentless, it's in your face, it's just the way West Ham do things. Ball over the top, into Milcent, and unfortunately, he just can't keep his shot down, and that one goes over the bar. Really good though from West Ham to nick the ball back and hit them on the instant counter. Second substitute incoming, Nicholas Wright off for Papa, and Quartez on for Sabanda. I should probably do the offs first and then the on second, and I might not get that so wrong. But yeah, a couple of substitutions there made, a couple of younger players getting a bit of time on the pitch, although the team in general is pretty young. Doing the usual stuff I always do in marking up new substitutions that come onto the football pitch, and with 20 minutes to go, it's looking like it's curtains for Crystal Palace. Unless they do something really miraculous, it looks like West Ham are taking this trophy home. It's another title, and that trophy cabinet is really starting to get full at West Ham under the tutelage of yours truly. Novelay is coming off for Felix Dold. He's going to get a bit of game time in this one. That was a good clearance. It goes out for a corner. Had it not, that's definitely another goal, isn't it? But not to be. 10 minutes to go in the game. Still in the lead. Still controlling things. Still doing absolute bits in the final. 19 shots registered. That's very, very good from us. It's always good to kind of watch these games back because when I do them as live comms before, I never really took much notice, but when I'm watching it back, I can really kind of take in just how dominant we are in some of the games. Dold now on the ball, into Milcent. He's had a lot of chances as Milcent in this final, and he's been hopeless with all of them. That one dragged wide again, but overall, not a bad performance from him leading the line. He just couldn't get that goal. There's still 4 minutes to do so, and we have a highlight. It's into Cavell now, into Dold, now into the midfield. Milcent, he comes wide. Now it's Dold, again into Milcent, and again he drags it wide. It's just not happening for the Haitian in this game, and it is going to finish 2-0 to West Ham, ladies and gentlemen, and the Carabao Cup Final comes back to the London Stadium and to East London. And so with that win against Crystal Palace, that is 3 pieces of silverware from a possible 6 that we can win this season. We're still very much in the hat for the FA Cup. We've won our first leg against Slavia Prague in the Champions League. Another win there, we advanced to the quarterfinals. And then as far as the Premier League is concerned, after 28 games played this season, you can see that we've got 73 points on the board. We have a 5-point cushion to Manchester United with 23 wins, 4 draws and just 1 defeat. And with 28 games played, Moukoko already has 30 goals for the season. He has been absolutely on fire and the catalyst to everything we have done well this season. That's part 2. Join me next time for part 3, where we close out season 13. And so there you have it, my friends. We're done and dusted for another episode of the Hall of Famer. I do hope you've enjoyed this, my friends. Be sure to drop me a subscribe if you are enjoying the content. Drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed the video. But until next time, my friends, I salute you all. Stay safe, stay humble, and I'll see ya real soon.